Your resume is your biggest tool in your job application in Canada. Whether you're already in Canada or whether you're still outside of Canada applying to jobs in Canada, watch this video till the end so that you understand about resume. You also understand what a functional resume means. You also understand what it means for a resume to be job specific. You also understand the common mistakes people make while doing their resume and why this mistake have kept them. And you will also understand exactly how to structure your resume to be that thing that will get you your next interview. And also you'll be understanding what needs to be on your resume and what needs to be on your cover letter. Stay tuned with me so that you stop going everywhere to ask questions or to say, I have been applying to jobs in Canada, but nothing yet. So now, what is a resume? A resume is the summary of your skill, of your education, of your qualification, of your professionalism, whatever it is that makes you unique in your career goal. Your resume is just a simplified version of it. Your resume is that thing that showcases your talent before an employer without seeing you. An employer in Canada might not know whether you're light-skinned, dark-skinned, tall, short, a man or a woman, but your resume can attract you to them. Now, when we talk about resume, people understand that resume is the same thing as CV, but people fail to understand that resume differs. In Canada, and you're applying to jobs, you must be using a Canadian style resume. And when you talk about Canadian style resume, there are different kinds of resume. There is a resume that is a functional resume. There is another resume that is a chronological resume. There is another resume that have both. So these resume kinds are categorized based on the format that you're using to write your resume. Now, a functional resume is usually for people that just finished from school, people without experience, especially Canadian experience, people that are just using their skills to showcase their talent or to showcase that they can do the job. Now, chronological format of resume is resume meant for professionals. Yes, people that have years of experience. Those are the people that use chronological. Then if you're transitioning from job to another job and you've gained a bit of experience, but not so much, you can decide to combine both functional and chronological resume to make yourself to stand out. But please, for the virtue of this video, I will be focusing on functional resume because that is where my audience struggle most. Now, if you watch this video to the end, you'll be able to make your own resume by yourself. Resume services is a service in Canada that people pay a lot of money for. But if you understand how to make your own resume by yourself, of course, you'll be able to do it. Now, let's talk about functional resume. Functional resume is that resume that is straight to point. Functional resume is that resume that cannot exceed 2 pages. Functional resume is that resume that speaks about your skills instead of your experience. People wonder that if they don't have a job experience in Canada, that they might not be able to get a job in Canada, but that is not true. Even if you don't have any experience in Canada, just use a functional resume and follow all the instructions I will tell you on this video. You'll be surprised that you will land a job in Canada faster than someone that have years of experience without a good resume. Yes, it happens. So now, in your functional resume, the summary part, it will contain the summary part immediately after your name, because the first part of the resume is always your name, your contact information. After that comes the summary part. I tell people, if you're making a functional resume, don't say professional summary, because professional summary will best suit someone that is doing a chronological resume. So keep it at just summary. When you write the summary, then the information you're going to put on that summary matters a lot. It matters a lot. That information will contain your skills. That information will contain the keywords that the employer is looking for. If you miss out on these two important things on that summary part, that your resume goes to trash. Now, before you edit any summary part of a resume, you must go first to that job posting that you want to apply to and see what matters most to the employer. Look at what the employer is looking for. Look at the qualifications they are looking for. Most people, the qualifications is just someone that can multitask, someone that can work independently, someone that can work in a team, someone that can work that can stand for many hours, this kind of things. Because a lot of jobs in Canada understand that newcomers have no Canadian experience. So they position skills as qualification and as what they are looking for, what you should have for the job. So you need to go to that job posting, read up information, understand the keywords. Keyword matter. If an employer mentions multitask, please, that is a keyword. If an employer mentions compassionate, that is a keyword. If an employer mentions communication skill, that is a keyword. Those keywords must reflect on your summary. Now, another huge mistake people make is that they go and copy and paste. Remember, you are applying to a job in Canada, not a local country, not a country where employers are not educated. I used to tell my clients, employers in Canada are the creators of AI. So when you use an AI to do your resume, to do all your job application, they know, and they might not consider you serious. Yes, in my years of helping people navigate jobs in Canada, helping review people's resume and writing resumes for people, I can tell you categorically that your summary part is what actually gets you an interview. So now, when you see all the listing that the employer have listed on the job posting, please take only the key points, put it in your own wordings, and put it on your summary part. If it's a job like a caregiving job, you can do passionate about caring for people. Passion can land you a job in Canada, because employers in Canada, they care about who they hire. They want someone who is passionate, who will stay in the job. They don't want to hire you and tomorrow you're just cruising. Tomorrow you leave for another job. So passion can get you that. Skill can get you that. And these are the things that should be on your summary section. I don't know if I'm communicating. I don't know if you're following what I am saying. Job posting, pick the keywords, understand what the employer is looking for, frame it in your own wording, but the keywords remains the same. You put it on your summary section. For example, you saw a keyword multitask in a job posting. Put it in your summary. Very efficient with multitask, or great with multitasking skills. Something like that. Put it in your own word, but make sure that that keyword remains there. Now, after your summary part comes your work experience. Your work experience, even if you have not had any direct paid work experience, your volunteer experience can act as your work experience in Canada. Your personal experience, you cared for your children, for your parents, for your wife, for your husband, it can be your work experience. You can list it as your experience. Yes. So when you put the job title, maybe personal caregiver or whatever it is, put the name of the company, put the years or the months you did the job. If it's a personal experience, write as the name of the company, family support, personal experience, whatever. Then list what you did. When you're listing your duties in that job, list it as an achievement instead of just a line of duty. So now, after listing your work experience, remember when you list personal experience or volunteer experience, you don't necessarily need to say it's a volunteer experience. Volunteer work in Canada is considered a work experience. Yes, employer value that too. In your interview, that is why you're called for an interview, to explain more about your resume and your cover letter. That is when you would talk more about the work experiences you've listed, that this one was a volunteer. volunteer work and all that. But remember, your resume needs to get you an interview. So limit any information that might block your chance of getting an interview. That does not mean you're lying. You listed the experience. You had the experience. The experience is real. When you get to an interview, talk more about that. Explain more about that. So now, after listing your work experience, the next one you need to list is your education and certification. Please, for example, for your work experience, make sure that you're only putting work experience relevant to that job. Relevant to that job. I see people applying for caregiving job and they are putting work experience in construction. It doesn't work. Even though you have that work experience, but please remove it. If you have no work experience in that field and you have personal experience, maybe you have done something for someone, you have helped someone in the past, you have done for your family member, whatever, put it as your experience. After that, education and certification, put your education and certification relevant to that position, please. After that, you can write under it, references are available upon request. Remember, if that job mentioned vulnerable check, police vulnerable check, standard first aid, list those things under certification if you have them. And for vulnerable check, if you don't have it, say something like you are willing to obtain one. But if your resume is already up to 2 pages, please save it for your cover letter. Remember, you don't have to put a lot of information on your resume. Put only the necessary information that will catch attention. Your resume should be as simplified as possible. That's why there's a cover letter. Your cover letter is where you write in details. Your cover letter is where you blow your grammar. Your cover letter is where you give more information why you should be the right candidate. It is where you showcase the days, the time you saved the day, the award you've had, whatever. But please, your resume must be straight to point. Not more than 2 pages. Nothing should ever make your resume more than 2 pages. Whatever that is, minimize it on your resume and introduce it on your cover letter. Now, if you have done this up till now, you already have a great resume for Canada job, because your resume talks about, is functional and is job specific, because you checked the job and you included it. But if you're applying for a job and there was no job posting, someone just told you to apply, just use your initiative and check what that position might require. Use it to make your resume, because there was no listing, there was no posting for you to check upon. And remember, when you're making a functional resume, after having your summary part, please don't have another additional part that is called skill or core competencies. Please, all those things are not necessary. Just maintain as straightforward as possible as you have seen on this video. Now, after your resume is your cover letter, I tell people that I have coached and I have written resume for, that I have trained. When you're doing a job application, please, whether they require resume or a cover letter or not, always have a cover letter and a resume. Now, your cover letter should have informations about the organization. You should mention the organization name and address if you know the address. If not, the name is sufficient. Okay. Tell them the position you're applying to. If you found the position on Job Bank, list the Job Bank number on your cover letter. Let it be in detail. Okay. Talk about how you found the job, why you feel you're qualified for the job, the similar things you've done in the past, how your education supports the role, the skills, what you have to offer, that you've seen their website and this is the plan you have for the future. Say things. Your cover letter should be 1 or 2 pages. Yes, 2 pages is still okay for a cover letter, because you're writing to introduce a lot about yourself. But if you can, keep it within one page. But if need be, 2 pages maximum, please. Then, by this time that you have already had your resume and your cover letter, you're already ready for a good job in Canada. Thank you for staying up till this time. Subscribe to this channel, share this video, like it, and I'll be on the comment section having a great conversation with you with concerning what you have learned in this video. And please make sure to watch other YouTube videos that I have made. about job, how to apply to job, because even if you have a good resume and you're not doing a good job application, you might still be stranded. So watch out for other videos that have dropped and more dropping soon about how to apply to jobs and many other things. Thank you so much for staying up till this time, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.